The amber light of 7 o'clock descends through the clerestory glass, casting long and leaning shadows across the well-worn oak of the pews, where the faithful gather in the hushed gravity of the Lord's day's end. There is a specific scent to this hour, a mixture of extinguished beeswax, the faint metallic tang of the thuribal's lingering ghost, and the damp wool of coats worn by those who seek a final sanctuary before the secular week begins its relentless march. The choir stands in the loft, their breath a collective petition, preparing to weave the melodies of Megargil and the ancient echoes of the servant's heart into a tapestry that's the silence of the sanctuary with the noise of the world outside. Here, the rosary is not merely a string of beads, but a rhythmic pulse, a tactile map of sorrows and glories that we trace with calloused thumbs, seeking the mother's hand in the gathering twilight of the nave. Will you permit the bending of the knee to be more than a ritual motion, a true descent into the dust where the feet of the weary rest heavy with the grime of the road? In this late hour, the Sunday 7 p.m. choir sings not for the applause of the crowd, but for the solace of the broken, their voices lifting the heavy weight of the servant's song, as if it were a shared mantle of indigo silk. We are pilgrims of the evening, travelers who find our home in the cadence of a brother's voice and the steady resonance of a sister's prayer, understanding that to lead is to follow, and to possess is to surrender everything at the foot of the cross. The music swells, rising like incense toward the vaulted ceiling, carrying the names of the forgotten and the burdens of the heavy laden into the heart of the Immaculate, who stood beneath the wood of sacrifice with a silent, piercing grace. Between the decades of the rosary, the silence breathes, a profound and hollow space, where the spirit of Mary's fiat takes root in the marrow of our bones, asking if we too can say yes to the unknown and the arduous. The hymn is over the chasm of our own selfishness, a structural grace that demands we look into the eyes of the stranger and see the reflection of the Christ who washed the feet of those who would soon desert him. It is a song of radical hospitality, a liturgical embrace that defies the cold indifference of the city streets, murmuring just beyond the heavy bronze doors of the narthex. We sing of being the light for one another, not a blinding glare of judgment, but the soft, flickering glow of a votive candle that guides a stumbling footstep through the thicket of a Tuesday's despair or a Wednesday's loneliness. The 7 p.m. choir understands the exhaustion of the labor and the quiet desperation of the seeker, for they too have navigated the complexities of the passing week and bring their fatigue as an offering to the altar. Their harmony is an architecture of mercy, built note by note upon the foundation of Megargil's vision, where the servant is the master of love and the master is the servant of all. Each word of the lyrics is a seed planted in the fertile dark of the Sabbath evening, watered by the tears of the penitent and warmed by the communal fire of of the Eucharist. We are weaving our lives into the mysteries of the Rosary, finding our own trials in the Garden of Gethsemane, and our own small triumphs in the light of the resurrection, all while the clock ticks toward the midnight that marks the end of our rest. Let the melody be a balm for the spirit that has forgotten how to weep, a gentle rain that softens the parched earth of a heart hardened by the cynicism of the age. As the final verses of the servant's song rise to meet the shadows of the choir loft, there is a sense of a circle closing, a holy enclosure, where the Marian devotion of the Rosary meets the active ministry of the disciple. We are being sent forth, not as individuals isolated in our own concerns, but as a body knitted together by the recurring themes of grace and the shared breath of this late-night liturgy. The incense has faded, the candles are trimmed to their wicks, and the silence returns to the stone walls, but the song remains, an indelible mark upon the soul that whispers of the beauty found in serving, the strength found in kneeling, and the peace found in the shadow of the Mother of Sorrows. Beneath the gaze of the stained glass saints, the choir descends the narrow stairs, the sheet music tucked away like hidden treasures, while the last echoes of the Sunday hymn vibrate in the cooling air of the cathedral. This is the hour of transition, where the sacred and the mundane collide, and the servant's promise must be lived out in the marketplace and the home. The Rosary's rhythm stays in the pulse, a drumbeat of Ave that sustains the spirit when the music stops and the lights are finally dimmed. We walk out into the cool night air, transformed by the gravity of the 7 p.m. prayer, carrying the quiet majesty of the Catholic hymn into the dark. The amber glow of the sanctuary, lamps flickers against the cooling stone as the clock strikes the 7th hour of the day's final rest. Here, in the hallowed quiet of the nave, the Sunday evening choir gathers their breath, a collective respiration that carries the weight of a week's labor and the lightness of a soul surrendered. We stand in the gloaming where the secular world recedes and the sacred cadence of Gary, all simple, devastating truth begins to vibrate through the wooden rafters. It is the hour of the Vespertide, the 7 p.m. transition, where the shadows are longest and our offerings are most transparent. We do not bring the frantic energy of the dawn or the formal posture of the midday high mass, but rather the honesty of the weary, the stewardship of the broken, and the melodic tithing of our very existence. Listen to the rustle of the hymnal pages, a sound like autumn leaves skittering across a holy threshold. As we prepare to articulate the geometry of our poverty, all that we have and all that we are is not a boast of possession, but a confession of origin. We are the conduits of a grace that was never meant to be, dammed up in the reservoirs of the self. The lyrics on the screen are more than mere prompts for the tongue. They are the cartography of a spiritual journey that leads from the clenched fist of the ego to the open palm of the servant in the specific atmosphere, under the watchful eyes of saints carved in oak. The concept of a gift becomes a mirror. We look into the melody and see our hands calloused by the Monday through Saturday grind, now lifted in a rhythmic architecture of praise that Gary Alt envisioned as a between the altar and the street. The harmony begins as a low hum, a subterranean river of bass and alto that grounds the high, soaring petitions of the sopranos. We sing of the grain that must die to become bread, and in doing so, we acknowledge the tiny deaths we have died since the last Sabbath. Every frustration, every unexpressed kindness, and every hidden grief is gathered into this coal vat to be fermented into the wine of sacrifice. The 7 p.m. choir understands that the evening is the time for the gathering of fragments. We bring the crumbs of our time, the remnants of our energy, and the flickering candles of our faith, trusting that the divine math will multiply these meager elements until they suffice for a hungry world. The music is not a performance, but a participation in the primordial act of giving back to the Creator the breath He first exhaled into the dust. See how the lyrics scroll by, white text against the deepening blue of the digital background, echoing the ancient truth that our lives are but a vapor that appears for a little time. Yet in this choral suspension, time ceases to be a thief and becomes a sanctuary. We offer our dreams, those fragile glass birds we've tried to keep from breaking. And we offer our failures, those heavy stones that have anchored us to the earth. There is a peculiar dignity in this Sunday night gathering. It is the final gaze before the world resumes its clamor. We sing with the desperation of those who know that without this surrender, we are merely ghosts haunting our own lives. Gary Alton becomes a vessel, a sturdy ship of vowels and consonants that carries our collective yes into the silence of the Godhead. As the final chords of the organ bleed into the stillness, the essence of the hymn lingers like the scent of frankincense in the curtains. We have given all that we have, which is ultimately nothing. And in that void, we have received all that He is, which is everything. The choir disperses into the cool night air, the lyrics still etched upon the lining of their hearts, walking out into the dark streets, not as owners of their destiny, but as stewards of a light that was never theirs to hide. The Sunday 7 p.m. choir concludes not with the period, but with the comma, for the life of the hymn begins when the singing stops and the living starts. We are the gift, we are the offering, and we are the song that continues to echo through the corridors of the mundane, transformed by the simple, radical act of holding nothing back. In the hollowed marrow of the mountain, where the silence breathes in rhythmic tides of stone, there dwells a sentinel of the invisible, a weaver of the quietude that binds the fractured soul to the absolute. It is not a shield of hammered bronze or burnished iron that we seek today, nor the vanity of shields that rust in the salt of human tears. but a bulwark forged in the furnace of a 3-year solitude. Beneath the limestone ribs of Subiaco, the world's clamor was distilled into a singular drop of devotion, a liquid clarity that quenched the fire of the flesh and hardened into the diamond geometry of the rule. You, the father of the West, did not flee the world to abandon it, but to learn the architecture of its true defense, standing as a pillar where the currents of chaos break and dissolve into the order of the divine. The chalice of envy fractured at the sign of your hand, a crystalline explosion that echoed through the cloisters of the spirit, proving that the venom of man is powerless against the breath of the world. It is this broken glass we tread upon now, walking toward the mountain of Casino, with feet shod in the readiness of peace, guided by the raven that carries away the poison bread of our own bitterness. The air around your name smells of damp earth and ancient parchment, of cedar wood and the cold, sharp scent of an alpine dawn, where the frost clings to the monk's cowl like a mantle of silver humility. We are the laborers in the vineyard of the unseen, swinging the scythe of prayer against the overgrowth of the ego, planting the seeds of aura in the furrows of Labora, until the harvest of the soul is ripe for the granaries of eternity. Crux sacrosit mihi lux, the vows of protection carved into the very air we inhale, a geometric fortress where the dragon finds no purchase, and the serpent's hiss is silenced by the humming of the psalms. This is the shield that does not weigh upon the arm, but lifts the heart toward the uncreated brilliance, a transparency that reflects the malice of the abyss back into the void. It is a shield of listening, an ear inclined to the Master's voice, until the interior silence becomes a cathedral where the lamp of the Spirit never flickers. No arrow of the midday devil can pierce the weave of a life lived in the enclosure of the holy will, for the boundaries of the monastery are the frontiers of a kingdom that knows no geography but the geography of grace. The iron pendulum of the monastic clock strikes the hour of our awakening, calling us from the slumber of the senses to the vigil of the vigilant, where the liturgy is the heartbeat of a world that has forgotten how to pulse in time with the Creator. We trace the cross upon our lips, sealing the gateway of speech, so that only the gold of the gospel may pass through, refining our words until they are as heavy and as precious as the stones you laid to build the houses of God upon the ruins of the idols, in the sweat of the brow and the bowing of the knee. The shield is tempered in the patience of the brother and the silence of the cell. The Spirit is armed with the resilience that outlasts the empires of dust and the monuments of pride. Guide our hands as we grasp the plow of our daily duties, and steady our gaze upon the horizon where the sun of justice never sets. For we are pilgrims under the banner of the Benedictine peace, Let the pax that you carved into the granite of Europe be the seal upon our foreheads, a mark of belonging that the world cannot recognize and the darkness cannot extinguish. Through the storms of the century and the gales of the mind, your rule remains the anchor, the compass and the wall, a legacy of equilibrium in a world of extremes. We sing the song of the shield, not as a plea for escape, but as a vow of endurance, standing firm in the cloisters of the heart, protected by the wisdom of the patriarch who taught us that to work is to pray, and to pray is to become a fortress of the living light. The indigo shadows of the sanctuary stretch long against the cooling stone. As the clock strikes the 7th hour of the final day, there is a specific gravity to this late assembly, a gathering of the weary who carry the dust of the weekend on their souls and the anticipation of the coming labor in their quieted hearts. Here, under the dimming rafters, the air is thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering sweetness of the afternoon's incense. Yet something more ancient begins to stir. The choir, a small constellation of voices in the loft, prepares to breathe life into the silence. Their harmonies not of a triumphant morning, but of a deep, sustaining dusk. We stand at the threshold where the temporal meets the eternal, where the simple fruit of the earth and the work of human hands are poised to become the sustenance of the soul. Listen to the rustle of the grain in the wind of the Judean hills. The sound transposed into the soft shuffling of feet moving toward the center aisle. This is the threshed gold of the field, ground between the heavy stones of our shared burdens, moistened by the tears of our collective longing, and fired in the kiln of a love that refuses to remain distant. The lyrics of Kuni rise like a slow-burning flame, reminding us that we do not merely come to observe a miracle, but to be consumed by one. I myself am the bread of life. The melody insists, not as a static relic behind glass, but as a living pulse, a brokenness that heals, a poverty that enriches the beggar and the king alike. The 7 p.m. choir understands the nuance of the minor key, the way the harmony leans into the dissonance of our daily lives before resolving into a grace that feels like coming home. In this bread, there is the memory of the Passover moon and the shadow of the cross, yet it is flavored with the hope of an empty tomb. It is the food for the journey through the wilderness of the modern street, the calories of the spirit needed to survive the indifference of the world. As the cup is raised, it reflects the amber glow of the vigil lamps, a reservoir of mercy for the parched throat. We are invited to a table that knows no borders, a feast where the currency is faith and the only requirement is hunger. The choir's song becomes a between the altar and the exit, a reminder that the liturgy does not end when the doors are locked, but begins when the crumbs of this sacred meal are carried out into the dark. The architecture of the evening is built on these phrases. praises. Those who come to me shall not hunger. Spoken into the hollows of our own inadequacy. We are a people of the twilight, seeking the light that does not fail as the sun departs. The bread is passed, the wine is shared, and in the intimacy of this 7 p.m. communion, the distinction between the giver and the gift begins to blur. We become the body we receive. We become the life we celebrate. The music swells, not in a roar of pride, but in a tidal wave of surrender, washing over the pews and the stained glass, soaking into the very marrow of those who kneel. It is a radical hospitality, an invitation to lose oneself in the breaking, and to find oneself in the gathering, as the final notes of the hymn drift toward the vaulted ceiling, lingering like a benediction before dissolving into the night air. We are left with the taste of heaven on our tongues, and the strength of the word in our stride. The choir descends, their folders closed, their mission accomplished in the quiet transformation of the room. The Sunday night silence returns, but it is no longer empty. It is pregnant with the grace of the bread of life. We walk out into the cooling city, under the stars that witness our smallness, bearing within us the fire that was kindled at the altar. The week ahead may be long, and the challenges may be many, but the resonance of the 7 p.m. choir remains a rhythmic heartbeat of hope, a persistent echo of the promise that we shall never walk alone, fed by the hand of the one who is both the host and the meal.
The basalt dunes are singing under the weight of a copper sun, where the hermit stands alone against the horizon of his own desires. There is a vibration in the marrow of the earth, a low hum of tectonic devotion that begins where the silence of the world ends. Antony, son of the red dust and the white fire, walks the labyrinth of the scorched valleys with eyes fixed on a throne made of uncreated light. This is not the quiet prayer of the cloisters, but a roar that shatters the porcelain illusions of the flesh, a rhythmic pounding of the heart against the ribs of the universe. The sand is a grindstone sharpening the blade of his will, and every step is a power chord struck against the granite floor of the abyss. He carries no staff but the lightning bolt of a conviction that has outlived the dynasties of men and the vanity of the stars. The air thickens with the scent of ozone and ancient incense, as the sky turns the color of a bruised violet, waiting for the spark. You can hear the crackle of the spirit catching flame in the dry brush of the human soul, a wildfire that does not consume but clarifies. It is the rock-hewn anthem of a man who found the world too small for the hunger in his breast, who traded the silk of the court for the rough canvas of the infinite. The demons howl in the canyons, their voices like rusted saws against the silk of the night. But he stands immovable as a mountain of obsidian,